Stop scrolling. Right now. Because what is about to drop on your screen is the most damning leak yet about why Klay Thompson actually walked away from Megan Thee Stallion, and trust me on this one, the version the internet has been chewing on for weeks is not the version that just slipped out the back door. A so-called insider just kicked down the wall, and the words this person used are uglier, colder, and more humiliating than anything Megan Thee Stallion ever told us herself. You know me. You know how I do. We are not playing surface level today. We are going underneath this entire situation, frame by frame, receipt by receipt, until you see something nobody else on this app has bothered to point out. Because everybody is so busy fighting in the comments about who was the villain that they completely missed the actual story sitting in plain sight in front of them. And once you see what I am about to show you, you cannot unsee it. So pour something. Sit down. Lock in. Because this Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion situation just hit a brand new ugly level, and we are about to take it apart like a crime scene. Let me set the stage real quick for anybody who has been living under a Wi-Fi rock. Klay Thompson, 4-time champion, future Hall of Famer, the calmest guy on any roster he has ever been on. Megan Thee Stallion, global superstar, hot girl high commander, the loudest energy in any room she walks into. On paper, opposites attract. In real life, opposites collide. And the collision is what we are talking about today. For months, Megan Thee Stallion was the one feeding us the soft launch, the hard launch, the holiday content, the vacation footage, the cooking videos, the matching outfits, the playful captions. Every time Megan Thee Stallion opened her mouth about Klay Thompson, it was nothing but sugar. Megan Thee Stallion called Klay Thompson kind. Megan Thee Stallion called Klay Thompson genuine. Megan Thee Stallion said Klay Thompson was the first man who ever made Megan Thee Stallion feel actually safe. And the internet was eating it up because, after everything Megan Thee Stallion has been through, watching Megan Thee Stallion glow felt like a small win for the whole girl group. Then, out of nowhere, the soft launch turned into a soft funeral. Megan Thee Stallion posted that Instagram story. You know the one. The one that read like a goodbye letter dipped in gasoline. Megan Thee Stallion mentioned playing house. Megan Thee Stallion mentioned cold feet. Megan Thee Stallion mentioned holding a man down through horrible mood swings. Megan Thee Stallion dropped the word monogamy like a brick through a window. And just like that, the fairy tale was a press release. Megan Thee Stallion followed up with a clean, polished statement. Trust. Fidelity. Respect. Non-negotiable. Megan Thee Stallion was choosing peace. Megan Thee Stallion was choosing clarity. Megan Thee Stallion was choosing Megan Thee Stallion. And the hot girl army went to war on Megan Thee Stallion's behalf without even bothering to read the fine print under the headline. Then the rumor mill cranked up. A WNBA player got dragged into the chat. The cheating narrative started building like a hurricane. Klay Thompson said nothing. Klay Thompson stayed Klay Thompson. The WNBA player publicly denied any involvement and basically begged the internet to stop typing names into a story she said was not hers. And still, the comment sections refused to let Klay Thompson breathe. But here is the twist. Here is where the entire room shifts. Because while everyone was still mourning the relationship as if Klay Thompson had personally pushed Megan Thee Stallion off a cliff, a new source surfaced. A source claiming to be close to Klay Thompson. A source who decided to talk to the Daily Mail. A source who used the kind of language that does not come out of a publicist's mouth. That language came out of somebody who has been waiting. According to that insider, Klay Thompson knew for a long time that Megan Thee Stallion was not the right fit. According to that insider, Klay Thompson wanted out but did not know how to do it cleanly. According to that insider, Klay Thompson used a word. And the word was ghetto. Not once. Not twice. The source said Klay Thompson was over the ghetto-ness. Over the way Megan Thee Stallion talks. Over the way Megan Thee Stallion acts. Over the entire frequency Megan Thee Stallion broadcasts on. Read that again, slowly. Because that is not a man saying we grew apart. That is not a man saying our schedules conflicted. That is a man, allegedly, looking back at the woman who cooked his family a Thanksgiving dinner and labeling her culture, her cadence, and her personality as something to escape from. If that quote is real, that is a different kind of breakup. That is not closure. That is a confession. And the source did not stop there. Oh no. The source kept cooking. The source said Klay Thompson felt abandoned. The source said Klay Thompson showed up to Megan Thee Stallion's events, supported Megan Thee Stallion's foundation work, stood next to Megan Thee Stallion at every public moment Megan Thee Stallion needed a body. And then, the source said, when Klay Thompson finally had a quiet summer off the court, Megan Thee Stallion was nowhere. Touring. Promoting. Running. Hot girl summer everywhere except the one couch Klay Thompson was sitting on. The source said Megan Thee Stallion would not stop talking about Tory Lanez. The source said Megan Thee Stallion always felt the world was hunting Megan Thee Stallion. The source said Megan Thee Stallion needed security in places where security made no sense. And whether that is fair or unfair, whether that is trauma or paranoia, that paints a picture of a household that was never really at rest. Two people sharing a roof while one of them was still trying to outrun a courtroom. So now let me ask you something nobody is asking. Forget who is right. Forget who is wrong. Ask yourself this. What if this whole story was never actually about a breakup at all? What if this whole story is about the quiet war that happens every single day between a private man and a public woman, and we just happen to be watching one famous version of it? That is the angle nobody is touching. That is the part the gossip pages skipped right over. Because if you zoom out, this is not Klay Thompson versus Megan Thee Stallion. This is calm versus chaos. This is silence versus spectacle. This is a man who built a career on never letting the camera read his face, standing next to a woman who built an empire on making sure the camera never stops reading hers. Two icons. Two completely different operating systems. And the second one of those systems crashes, the world acts surprised. Let me give you the receipt that proves it. Watch the clip from Megan Thee Stallion's Parents Foundation event. Megan Thee Stallion is dancing. Megan Thee Stallion is Hot Girl High Commander on a Tuesday. And right behind Megan Thee Stallion, Klay Thompson looks like a man counting ceiling tiles. Not angry. Not embarrassed. Just done. That is not a man falling out of love. That is a man realizing the volume on the relationship is permanently turned up and the remote got lost somewhere in the move. Now listen to me carefully, because this part is going to make some of you mad. Sometimes the right man for a woman is not the wrong man. Sometimes the right man for a woman is the mirror. And the mirror is uncomfortable. The mirror does not laugh at the joke that was actually shade. The mirror does not clap for the persona when the person is hiding behind it. The mirror loves you so much that the mirror refuses to keep performing alongside you. And a lot of women, a lot of us, will mistake that mirror for a hater. I am not telling you Megan Thee Stallion is a bad woman. Megan Thee Stallion is not. Megan Thee Stallion is brilliant. Megan Thee Stallion is talented. Megan Thee Stallion has survived things that would have broken 10 people. But brilliance in public does not automatically translate to peace in private. And Klay Thompson, by every account, including Megan Thee Stallion's own words, is a man whose love language is peace. Quiet mornings. Long stretches of nothing. Boring on purpose. That is the dialect Klay Thompson speaks every single day. So when Megan Thee Stallion took the Instagram microphone first, when Megan Thee Stallion framed the breakup as Klay Thompson getting cold feet and questioning monogamy, what Megan Thee Stallion did, intentionally or not, was lock in the narrative before Klay Thompson could ever swing back. And Klay Thompson, being Klay Thompson, said nothing. 4 weeks. While Megan Thee Stallion's fanbase built statues out of Megan Thee Stallion's pain and bonfires out of Klay Thompson's name. That silence has now been broken. Not by Klay Thompson. By somebody in Klay Thompson's life. Somebody close enough to know the language Klay Thompson used in private. Somebody bold enough, or reckless enough, to hand that language to a tabloid. And if you think Klay Thompson did not know that source was talking, baby, please. People in Klay Thompson's circle do not freelance for the Daily Mail without permission slips signed in invisible ink. That is the play. That is the strategy. That is the chess move dressed up as a leak. Megan Thee Stallion controlled the first round of the narrative. Klay Thompson's camp, allegedly, just countered with round 2. And the word they chose, ghetto, was not random. That word was a grenade specifically engineered to detonate inside the exact demographic that was riding hardest for Megan Thee Stallion. That word forces a culture conversation. That word splits the room. That word, fairly or unfairly, repositions Klay Thompson from villain to victim in 3 syllables flat. This is why the comments are at civil war right now. Half the internet is saying Klay Thompson is a coward who hid behind an insider instead of being a man. The other half is saying Klay Thompson finally got to say what every quiet partner has thought after dating somebody whose whole brand is volume. And both halves are partially right, which is exactly why this story is not dying anytime soon. Let me get even more specific, because the details matter. The Thanksgiving footage Megan Thee Stallion posted is now playing very differently in 2026 hindsight. Megan Thee Stallion stood in that kitchen, dressing in the pan, turkey on the counter, narrating every single sentence like Megan Thee Stallion was hosting a Food Network special. And Klay Thompson, sitting at that table, looked like a man who just wanted the plate. Not the camera. Not the caption. The plate. That clip used to look like love. Today, that clip looks like a documentary about two different definitions of intimacy in the same household. And that is what nobody wants to say out loud. For Megan Thee Stallion, love is content. Love is shared. Love is announced. Love is performed for the same audience that has watched Megan Thee Stallion grow up on camera since the SoundCloud days. For Klay Thompson, love is the opposite of broadcast. Love is the boat. Love is the dog. Love is the long drive with the phone face down. Two languages. Same word. Completely different translations. Now I want to take you somewhere darker, because this is the part nobody on YouTube is willing to touch. There is a reason high-profile athletes keep ending up in these doomed celebrity matchups. The athlete world rewards routine, repetition, monotony, sleep, and silence. The entertainment world rewards spectacle, reinvention, controversy, virality, and noise. Those are not lifestyle differences. Those are opposing religions. And when those two religions move into the same house, somebody is converting or somebody is leaving. There is no third option. Klay Thompson did not leave because Megan Thee Stallion is loud. Klay Thompson left, allegedly, because Klay Thompson realized Megan Thee Stallion was never going to be quiet, and Klay Thompson was never going to be loud, and the middle ground was a fantasy. Megan Thee Stallion did not lose Klay Thompson because Megan Thee Stallion is too much. Megan Thee Stallion lost Klay Thompson because nobody told Megan Thee Stallion that being too much for the wrong man is not a flaw, it is just a fit problem with a sad timeline attached to it. And yet, here we are, with the source quote sitting like a bloody glove on the dinner table. Ghetto. The way Megan Thee Stallion talks. The way Megan Thee Stallion acts. If those words ever came out of Klay Thompson's mouth, even once, even in a moment of frustration, that is a wound that will not close with a statement. That is a wound that lives forever in the algorithm. Because the internet does not forget words. The internet only forgets context. Pause. Breathe. Because I want you to catch something the rest of the timeline missed entirely. Look at the timing of this leak. Look at when this source decided to talk. It is not the day after the breakup. It is not the week after the breakup. It is right when Megan Thee Stallion is in full hot girl reset mode, club footage, new music tease, new outfits, new everything. The leak lands exactly when Megan Thee Stallion is trying to turn the page. That is not coincidence. That is a calendar. Somebody wanted to bleed into Megan Thee Stallion's comeback. Somebody wanted Megan Thee Stallion's next headline to share oxygen with the word ghetto. Somebody wanted the next interview Megan Thee Stallion does to start with, Megan Thee Stallion, can we address the source close to Klay Thompson? That is media warfare. That is not heartbreak. Heartbreak does not have a release schedule, but revenge absolutely does. And here is the question I cannot stop chewing on. If Klay Thompson really felt that way, if Klay Thompson really thought the way Megan Thee Stallion speaks was something to escape, then why did Klay Thompson ever sit at that Thanksgiving table? Why did Klay Thompson ever pose for those photos? Why did Klay Thompson ever introduce Megan Thee Stallion to family at all? Because either Klay Thompson lied to Megan Thee Stallion for an entire season of life, or that insider is lying to the Daily Mail for clicks, and neither answer is clean. That is the cliff. That is where everybody is standing right now without realizing it. Either Klay Thompson is a quietly cruel man who walked Megan Thee Stallion through a fake fairy tale while privately recoiling, or Klay Thompson is a normal man whose breakup is being weaponized by somebody in Klay Thompson's orbit who saw a check, a clout opportunity, or an old grudge with Klay Thompson's name attached. Pick a lane. Both lanes are uncomfortable. And here is the part that should haunt you. Megan Thee Stallion has, on the record, said some of the kindest words ever spoken about Klay Thompson on a public mic. The first man Megan Thee Stallion called genuinely kind. The first man Megan Thee Stallion called safe. The first man Megan Thee Stallion let into the parts of life Megan Thee Stallion usually performs around. That is not a small confession. That is Megan Thee Stallion handing Klay Thompson keys most men never even get a tour of. And if those keys came back with a knife taped to the ring, that is the kind of betrayal that does not heal in a hot girl summer. But, and this is a big but, Megan Thee Stallion also chose to take the first swing in public. Megan Thee Stallion chose the Instagram story. Megan Thee Stallion chose the press statement. Megan Thee Stallion chose to plant the cheating implication in our heads before any of us knew a name. Whether that was emotion, strategy, or both, that move opened the door for exactly this kind of insider counterstrike. You cannot light the first match and then act shocked when the whole room catches fire around you. So who is the villain? Honestly, nobody. And everybody. Klay Thompson is a man who, by all available evidence, was already mentally checking out. Megan Thee Stallion is a woman who, by all available evidence, was already feeling the absence in the room. The insider is the only true villain in this story, because the insider, whoever the insider is, took 2 private wounds and turned them into a public blood sport. And every comment, every duet, every reaction video, including this one, is feeding that exact game. Now I want to leave you with the angle I have not heard a single creator say. Are you ready? Here it is. The real reason this breakup will not die is not because the world cares about Megan Thee Stallion's love life or Klay Thompson's love life. The real reason is that Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion, together, represented something a lot of people quietly needed. Megan Thee Stallion represented the loud black woman finally getting picked by a steady, drama-free man without a public scandal. Klay Thompson represented the quiet black man finally getting an electric, magnetic partner without the cost of his peace. 2 stereotypes finally getting the storybook ending nobody wrote for them. And when that storybook closed, it did not just close on Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion. It closed on a fantasy a lot of people were silently rooting for. That is why everybody is so mad. That is why everybody is so loud. That is why a single word leaked to a tabloid can shake a comment section like an earthquake. Because Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion were not just dating each other. Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion were dating an entire generation's hope that opposites really can build something quiet and lasting together. So what happens next? Megan Thee Stallion will keep dancing. Megan Thee Stallion will keep dropping. Megan Thee Stallion will laugh louder than ever to drown that word ghetto out of the air. Klay Thompson will keep shooting. Klay Thompson will keep avoiding microphones. Klay Thompson will let new footage slowly bury the old footage. The internet will move on to the next celebrity collision. And one day, years from now, Megan Thee Stallion will say 1 sentence about Klay Thompson in an interview, and Klay Thompson will say 0 sentences back, and that imbalance will be the final scoreboard nobody asked for. Until then, I want you to do one thing for me. Stop picking a team. Start picking a lesson. Because the lesson in Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion is bigger than Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion. The lesson is that loud and quiet can love each other. Loud and quiet just cannot live together unless both sides agree to learn the other side's language. And neither Klay Thompson nor Megan Thee Stallion, from where I am sitting tonight, ever sat down to translate. Tell me right now in the comments. Do you believe that ghetto quote actually came out of Klay Thompson's mouth, or do you think the so-called insider is running a smear job for clicks? Do you think Megan Thee Stallion was too much, or do you think Klay Thompson was never enough? Do you think this leak was random, or do you see the calendar move I just laid out for you? Drop your answer below. Drop your receipts. Drop your reads. I'm going to be in those comments tonight, replying back, because this conversation is bigger than one single video. That is the truth nobody wanted to say out loud tonight, and that is exactly the truth I just said to your face. Smash that subscribe button if you want the next update the second it drops, because trust me on this one, when one source talks, more sources follow. This is not the last word on Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion. This is the first crack. The rest of the wall is coming down. And when it does, you know where to be. Right here. With me. Pulling the receipts. Telling the truth. Saying what nobody else will. Until next time, mind your business and keep your peace, and I will see you in the next one.